Good morning.
This elaborate world was made for us, that we might know and trust God.
I see a child.
In wonder may we sing with the morning stars and shout for joy with the angels. For this elaborate world was made for us, that we might know and trust God.
I thought I'd show you what I do this Sunday, and I'm getting ready for church. And I'm not preaching today, but I am still doing song service. So, you know what I did? I didn't have time to pick out the music like I normally do, so I just went through the music and whatever jumped out at me, I felt God was telling me to try. So I got a stack here. Now I'll go through it, and then we'll see what happens. Let's see what we got. Do It Again. Another in the Fire, famous one. Windows of Heaven. All Who Are Thirsty, Take All of Me. And that's it. And so we'll see which ones of those I feel like the Holy Spirit is landing on.
It's a life that God brings.
Okay, so we picked out the music, so we have to go put it in the presentation software now. And I'm not going to show you that, but maybe sometime we use Easy Worship. But an old version.
I'm the lost that God saved.
Waves of His mercy, deep cries out to deep. Oh, as deep cries out to deep. Oh, as deep cries out to deep. We're at the church, and I thought I would explain a few things about streaming live. First off, of great importance is you have to have a good, oh goodness, you have to have a good camera, right? We use the Canon XA20, and we're just getting used to it, but it's so far it's doing really good. We didn't get it with the microphone holder, but we're going to purchase that soon. And what we did, we used to use Blackmagic for our uploading device, but man, there were so many troubles. Now, today, now we use this HD analyzer thing. I mean, it's just a generic HDMI. So we go HDMI out of the Canon XA20 into the generic thing that I bought from Fry's computer, and it works great, much better than the Blackmagic ever dreamed to. I never have a problem, and it goes straight into the back of the computer using a FireWire 800, which is the newer one. And this computer, and then we use OBS software. I don't know why I can't seem to get a decent focus using OBS software. Once we have it to OBS software and have that all worked out, maybe we'll do a tutorial if somebody wants a tutorial on how to set up OBS. It was really a pain with the Blackmagic. It was really hard to get going. But with this generic card, boom, just hooked right up. And I run the card, or I can run it separately through the reel. Either way works really good. So you set up the video and the mic separately, even though the mic is running through the HDMI cable into the FireWire cable. So at that point, once we have a good clean signal there, which is all HD 1080, we run it, upload into Caster.io, and then from Caster.io, that splits it up to 3 different platforms right now. It splits it to our Facebook page, to Periscope, which is Twitter, and to YouTube. Now, typically we don't put the whole thing on Facebook or YouTube because sometimes they have a problem with copyright. So we usually pick that one up halfway through, about the time that the word message starts or the prayer starts or something. But the Periscope site, like we said before, it streams the whole thing. Now, Periscope's awesome because you can put a link straight in, and there's little integration for your web page so that you can show your live stream into your web page when you're using Periscope. So people can go to the web page, click on live stream, and see the entire service streamed live. And so that's how we do that. On this other part, the board that we run is an older board. It's this Studio Live, Persona Studio Live, the Persona Studio Live 1642, which I got a tremendous deal on. I got it for like 200 bucks, I think it was, less than $200, because the screen's out. So we picked it up for 200 bucks, but the screen being out is fine because we don't use that to control it. We use the interface, right? So the interface comes straight up on the computer. Now, also, the reason I chose this PreSonus was for the connectivity, so because you can run the entire board off of a iPad or even an Android tablet, and so someone can be running the entire board just with the tablet in their hand, and it's a pretty good system. This one's, the last church I was at, done pretty much close to the same thing, except for we went ahead and bought this iMac, you know, something that could handle a lot more, because we use the iMac for controlling the whole board and the sound, and for streaming the video at the same time. And so far, as long as you have the bandwidth on your internet connection, there hasn't been a problem. The problem comes in when you want personal monitors. Now the X32 is a better option if you want to run personal monitors. That's the Behringer X32 board. It's just set up better for that. But you know, you're going to spend big money. Well, not big money, but a lot more than 200 bucks. What we're doing right now is we're setting up personal monitors by buying the little rolls, ROLLS rolls. They're like $35 each, and then running auxiliary sends 1 through 5. So that gives us 5 personal. Well, actually, we got to use 1 for the base, and so we got four auxiliary sends, which we only use 1 of them or 2 of them right now, that are dedicated to in-ear monitors. One of the problems with hooking that up, I found, is that the jacks on the back of the 1642 are tip ring sleeve and balanced. So when you try to run a stereo signal into the rolls, you got a problem. It messes up. You only get 1 ear or something, you know, it all. So you have to run some kind of adapter to adapt from XLR tip ring sleeve, balanced tip ring sleeve TRS, into mono, and then from mono split for stereo, then into your snake to plug in your headphones. And that's a lot of adapters, but that's what you have to do. But in the end, it works pretty good, I guess. It might be better just to have a headphone amp if you can afford it, with multiple slots. That way you have a lift, you know, you can get more volume out of it. Because I maxed it out, it's not so hot, you know, but it works. All right, so the PreSonus board can be ran off of an iPad. We were running JBLs, I think they're 12s, the JBL 12 speakers, which can be Bluetoothed into, and you can set them up Bluetooth. Canon has Wi-Fi, so you can control the zoom and everything right off Wi-Fi off your phone as well. So everything has connectivity to it. You can run everything, right? The main speakers, the camera, the board, straight off of an iPad. One iPad, you can connect to all of it. And that's just makes life easier for some, harder for others. You have to be sort of techie to understand it all. But that's the system. All right? Oh, one more system. So we are right here we're running the laptop. It runs the overhead system up there. Well, this is just not focusing well at all. I thought I had it on manual focus, I mean autofocus, but evidently I don't. Let me see. Okay, so there's JBLs right there and right there, and there's the overhead. We're running just a television instead of an overhead projector right now, and then it's all controlled off of this, which is Easy Worship. That's the old 2009 version, and we're just using that because we own it already, so might as well use it. There are a lot of alternatives for overheads when it comes to software, presentation software, and there's a lot of free ones. OPL is one of them that's really good. There's a ton of them. There's no use in going out and purchasing overhead software, presentation software that costs, like in this case, the Easy Worship at one time when we bought it, it was $1,000, $1,200, and now they have competition that's free, right? The software is free, and so you know, before you go spending a ton of money, try to see what you can do with no money or very little money. All right, so that's it, and maybe I'll see you later. Here's some advice for musicians and those of you that are making beats and trying to make music. You know, in today's world, it's so easy to use, you know, hacked or cracked or software that you didn't pay for that cost a lot to make. And I understand that sometimes it's pretty difficult to get the money to buy the stuff that is just software, and sometimes I actually get angry about it too, because, you know, I'll spend a ton of money on a piece of software for it to just go obsolete. You know, for instance, Auto-Tune 5. I spent a lot of money on Auto-Tune 5, and when the next editions came out, and when Windows upgraded and everything, when I tried to load Auto-Tune 5, it would literally burn up my hard drive. It would crash my hard drive, destroy it, and it was obsolete. I couldn't even use it. And so many times I've spent tons of money on software only to have it go obsolete and no longer supported. But besides that, I mean, that's a reason why a lot of people would choose not to purchase. But here's something that's worth thinking about. I'm a Christian, so I really want God's blessing on my music, right? I want Him to lift it up and use it and make it fruitful. And so I choose to purchase all my gear. Sure, once in a while I'll get a version of a software just to try it out, and then if I like it, I'll purchase it, and if I don't like it, I delete it. But most of the time, for those softwares that I want to try out, there's demo versions available, and I'd say 98% of the time. And so I'd say you really want a blessing on your music, then invest in your art, invest in your talent, invest in the blessings. You know, you heard the story about the talents. There was a ruler, and he gave one guy 10 talents, and another guy 3 talents, and another guy 1 talent. And the guy with 10 doubled his by investing, and the guy with 3 doubled his by investing, and the guy with 1, he buried his because he didn't want to lose it. So when it came time to give the talents back to the Lord, or the ruler, he gave each one, the guy with 10 talents now had 20, he gave him a big parcel of land or whatever. And then the guy with 3 that had 6, he blessed him also. But the guy with 1 that only brought the 1 back, the Lord called him a wicked person. That he was an evil and wicked person for not. Now that's hard to understand. You know, guy, maybe you might think the guy was just holding on to that talent and wanted to make sure it was safe. But see, here's what is not understood. Your talents are given to you to share and to increase. Right? They're given to you so that you can bring fruit into them and that they grow. And that's what they're given to you for. Right? They should show an increase, some kind of increase. Well, that increase, the Lord is the Lord of promotion. He is the Lord of increase. And sure, there are a lot of musicians, and there's a lot of artists and a lot of performers that go about it and don't care anything about doing things right, and they cut corners and stab backs and do whatever they can to get on top. But this is what I have to say about that. Who are they once they get there? Are they happy with who they are really? You know, how many of those performers and artists off themselves or whatever, you know? Is it really about the end result or the pathway there? You know, the journey. And when you look in the mirror, are you going to like who you see? Are you going to see a person that pushed down their fellow man to get to the top? Or are you going to see somebody who done things right? The Bible says this: wide is the great gate, and that leads to destruction. Wide is the road, and many there are in the go. But narrow is the pathway that leads to everlasting life, and few find it. So, you know, I would say invest in your talents, purchase the things that you need, save up and purchase them if you have to, find workarounds, use demo stuff if you have to, find workarounds, do whatever it takes to do it above board. And so that God can, you know, God's not going to bless wickedness. So God can bless you, right? Not just the world bless you. The world can bless you with all its money and all its fame and everything, all that. But without the Lord's blessing, it's worthless.